Hello and welcome to a life beyond me, where we go beyond this small little illusionary sense of ourselves and step into our full being, the vast, infinite, eternal potential of creativity that we all are. Today I want to take you on a journey into fear. To realize that fear and freedom are actually the same thing. Or at least they feel very alike. They are feeling very similar. And the more you learn how to hold the energies, emotions, mental projections, all these gnawing sensations, anxieties, fears, angsts, the terror that comes with it as well. If you're able to hold all of this stuff, you will be free. That's not too bad, is it? So, to explain all of this to you, I have to dig a bit deeper, and let's just get into it right away. Fear might be the sole reason for us to be here, yet at the same time, we could call it the biggest reason that is in the way of realizing our full potential and falling and embodying the freedom that we all are and that we all have at all times. Because ultimately, freedom and fear are very congruent. They feel the same. Let me give you a bit of an introduction to this so we can understand this together, right? That's what this is all about. There's so many beautiful things that are available to all of us to be touching into for this beautiful divine intelligence that flows through all of us. And we can share it with each other and make each other understand in different ways. Each one of us has access to the same wisdom, but it will come in through a very unique perspective and channel. And if we all are able to share this with each other, our understanding of ourselves, the world and the universe will grow exponentially. And that's why we have to sit down together, and even if it's just through videos like this, and share. And that's what I'm here for today, to make you understand that the feelings and sensations of fear and freedom are very much alike. To understand all of this, we have to go into fear a bit more and understand what fear is, what it's actually made for, and what beneficial role it has played in our lives, in the evolution of humanity. And then we have to take a look at what fear does on a somewhat more detrimental level, on a limiting level, right? That we are able to transcend if we put our minds, hearts, and let's say souls to it, right? So let's take a look together at what fear enabled for us as humanity in our evolution. It played a very vital and important role in our survival. Coming into this world as humanity in this physical body, right? This avatar that our consciousness is using to have a human experience. This body itself is very wonderful, unique, and flexible, and it can do so many things. We can grab things, we can do things, right? It's fucking amazing. It has so many potentials to be played and be creative with, express ourselves, experience this three-dimensional world on Earth in so many different ways and layers. It's amazing. The only slight downside to it is that it's very much able to die. And it is affected by many things, and there are many, many dangers out in the physical world that we can face. So the system of our bodies has created this beautiful, very creative solution for this. It has given us fear. So we are aversive towards situations that might be harmful to our well-being and to our survival on this plane and planet. So fear is a wonderful, wonderful survival tool. And it is very deeply ingrained into our DNA, into our whole being, and into our whole sense of self. Fear plays an important role for us to be here on this planet. It has helped our ancestors in somewhat more, let's say, raw environments to push through these, focus on what's important, and avoid those situations and encounters that could have been detrimental to their health and survival. For this reason, fear is not to be condemned. It is very, very beautiful, right? It is a great aid at our side. Yet, in our modern day societies, there's not too many physical things that we really have to fear. It is more on a psychological, social level that our fears are coming up. Our systems, our body, mind, and emotional systems, have learned through experience when we were growing up that certain situations could be somewhat painful. And as our survival system is very black and white, it's not that differentiated, right? It's like, oh, that is painful. That might be dangerous. Let's create some kind of blockage or boundary inside of ourselves to try to avoid these situations where I can experience this pain. So whenever similar situations are coming up, we're going to be experiencing levels of fear, aversion, anxiety, insecurity to somewhat pull us away from these situations, right? To take us out of these so we are safe and we can continue to live, because our bodies are very much interested in surviving. They don't really care about how we survive or in which mental state or what state of freedom. Their main idea and task on this plane is to keep us safe. Yet we as humans, as we are evolving, becoming a very social species, very, very conscious and creative on many levels, having needs that go beyond survival. These very basic and raw instincts of ourselves, they can tend to get in the way. They take away parts of our freedom to act and interact with ourselves, the world and the people in that world, the situations in that world, in the way that we would like to do that. So for us to go beyond these created boundaries of discomfort, pain, fear that were created in us, in our growing into the person that we are today, we will have to learn to create space for fear again and not fall victim to the idea that these fears hold actual truth to them, or that these are a set reality, because they are not. They are just automatic responses of your body, mind, emotional system to keep you safe. This is a survival instinct that's kicking in. But this automated sense of trying to stay in this world is limiting us in many ways. If we are not able to face our fears head on, to hold the fears within us, and to experience the sensations, the mental projections, the emotional flow, the energy that moves through our body. If we're not able to hold this, we are always gonna be limited in our space of comfort, in our space of being, because we will not be daring enough to touch upon these parts of our experience that induce fear and pain and anxiety. In this way, it is very important to realize that for us to become free, and this is the basic endeavor and striving that every human being holds within themselves, to realign with the freedom we always have and always had, that we actually are. We are undivided from freedom. To be united and reunited with this, we have to be able to hold fear, to hold these sensations of fear, to go right into it. And in that way, understand and realize, my friend, that freedom and fear feel exactly the same. In that very moment where you are able to hold fear and all its accompanying sensations, emotions, and mental projections, this is when you will feel and experience a great amount of discomfort. Yet when you're able to hold and engage with this discomfort, nothing in your life is posing a threat anymore, because you're free to engage even with the strongest aversive feelings, sensations, and experience that you as a human being can have. And if you're able to hold this, to give it space, to embrace it, to love it, then you're free. Yet, the somewhat uncomfortable sensations that come with it, they will still be there. But you're coming from a space that is able to hold this. You're coming from yourself that is infinite, that has infinite amounts of space available, that can hold everything and anything, any experience that you're having. In this very moment, you're gaining and reaching back out to the birthright of your existence, which is full and total freedom. As you're standing in your fear, in the moment that you're able to face the fear of fear itself, that's a double layer of fear. And if you combine this into your loving embrace, you're set free, and that is amazing, right? This is what is giving you the potential to show up in the world in the very way that you are and want to be. This is taking away all those social fears, angsts, and anxieties, right? This is taking away the outside view onto yourself. What can other people think about you or me or all of us, right? We all share the same experiences. It takes away the fear of failure, of not being good enough, of not getting that very project or idea that you have just right and make it come to life. It takes away the fear, or not the fear itself, but it takes away the limitation that the fear would put onto you of being rejected when engaging with people, with new ways of life, when engaging with the world at large, right? This is giving you such a great tool and freedom, such a width of your being. It makes you so grand, so vast, yet again, it brings you home to that what you are already. And all these fears that have kept you back of not maybe changing your job or taking that gap year or approaching that man or woman that you've always liked or telling that person that you think highly of how you really think about some things that he or she is doing, or to be able to go out and start that little business of yours and make it into something big. All these things, all these endeavors, all these ideas, right? That fear has kept you from will now be available to you as you're growing in your capacity to hold and be intimately dancing with fear. And with this, You're dancing with fear in the freedom that you are. That's beautiful, isn't it? And that can take away this big shadow fear casts about our ambitions, dreams, hopes, and potentials. As you are set free in the process of holding these fears, and you will realize that while you hold these fears, they will not stay the same. They will move and wiggle, and they might scream at you at times, you know? But the more you love them and embrace them, the more they will slowly glide into the warm embrace of yourself and your being. And in a sense, they will be burned away. But this burning always sounds a bit harsh, right? So they will be loved away. They will be reintegrated into yourself, and they will be a very important guideline for you, right? When you know that, oh, there's fear, let me lean into this. Let's see what freedom lies in this fear for me. And that is absolutely amazingly fantastic. This gives you such an amazing way of dealing with your life, and this is what is setting you free, amongst many other things, but this is one of the core things. And we can talk about this in depth in another video, because that then would touch upon death as well. But this is what it goes towards then, right? That this fear that we are experiencing is ultimately circling around the core issue that we're having, that we have this fear of dying, of not being anymore, whatever our identity actually is. But let's do this in another video. Let's just go with this beautiful insight, this beautiful tool and way of setting ourselves free, of leaning into and embracing free and realizing that it just feels the same as being free. And that little bit of discomfort we can deal with, can we not? I know you're strong enough. You can do it. We all can. Thanks for making that little journey into the depths of fear. I hope you will be able to use this in your everyday life, to be reminded of this the next time that fears come up in your life, right? To connect with this. Not so bad. Don't need to be afraid. I need to embrace, right? This is the reaction that come in instead. Play with this, enjoy it, have fun with it, be free, live your potential, be happy, healthy, holy, enjoy your life. It's yours. It's yours to take and to make every and anything you want out of it. That's it. With great love to you, my friend. I thank you for connecting with me through this lens. And I hope to see you in another exchange of ideas, perspectives, and life itself.